You smelled the factory before you saw it. From half a mile downwind, the stench hit you like a wall. Rotting fish guts, crushed bones, sun-baked entrails, salt-soaked seawater, bubbling in open stone vats for months. The smell was so bad that Roman law actually forced these factories to be built outside city walls. Not because they were dirty, but because the entire neighborhood would gag. And yet, this same disgusting liquid was poured on bread by senators, sipped from cups by soldiers, sold for more than gold by traders, and carried in small flasks across every corner of the Roman Empire. This is the story of Garum, the rotting fish sauce that fed Rome. Let's go back to around 100 BC, the Mediterranean coast. From southern Spain to northern Africa, massive open-air factories called setare stretched along the shoreline. These weren't kitchens, they were industrial plants. Some of them, archaeologists have found, employed up to 50 workers and produced thousands of liters of garum a year. The process was simple, brutal, and almost gross. Workers would take huge quantities of small, oily fish, mackerel, anchovies, sardines, tuna, sprats. They didn't bother gutting them. They threw the entire fish, organs and all, into massive stone vats. Then they layered them with sea salt, lots of salt, sometimes 2 parts fish to 1 part salt. Then they left the vats open to the burning Mediterranean sun for weeks, sometimes for months. What happened next was pure biochemistry. The fish guts contained powerful digestive enzymes. Those enzymes, combined with the heat and salt, slowly broke the fish down at a molecular level. The proteins liquefied, the bones softened, the organs dissolved. After several months, what was left in the vat was a thick, amber-colored liquid floating on top of a brown paste. That liquid was strained out, filtered, and bottled in clay jars called amphorae. That liquid was garum. The paste left behind was called alec, cheaper, stronger smelling, sold to the poor. Now you might be thinking, this sounds disgusting. Why on earth would the Romans love this stuff? Because they had figured out something modern food science only proved 2,000 years later. Garum was packed with glutamate, the same compound that gives modern monosodium glutamate, or MSG, its famous savory taste. The compound your tongue craves. The compound that makes broth taste rich, that makes meat taste meatier, that makes cheese taste deeper. Modern chemical analysis of garum residue found in jars at Pompeii confirmed it. The dominant flavor was straight-up glutamate, with lighter notes of glycine and alanine, 2 amino acids that add a sweet, cheesy character. The Romans weren't eating rotten fish. They were eating the world's first natural umami bomb. A single drop of garum could transform an entire meal. Romans poured it on bread, mixed it with vinegar, stirred it into wine, sprinkled it over boiled eggs, used it as a base for sauces. There was even a famous Roman recipe book called De Re Coquinaria, written in the 4th century AD, that uses garum in nearly every single recipe. Pork with garum, fish with garum, vegetables with garum. Even sweet dishes like pear and honey souffle were finished with a splash of garum. It wasn't just a condiment, it was the salt and the soy sauce of the Roman world combined. And the prices were insane. The highest grade of garum was called Garum sociorum, the garum of the Allies, made from mackerel caught off the southern coast of Spain near the city of New Carthage. According to ancient Roman writer Pliny the Elder, 2 congi of this garum, which is about 7 liters, sold for 1,000 sesterces. Let me put that into perspective. The annual salary of a Roman legionary at the time was around 900 sesterces. So a single amphora of premium garum, about 25 liters, cost roughly 3 years of a soldier's pay. Imagine paying 3 years of your salary today for a bottle of fish sauce. That's how valuable garum was at the top end. It was a luxury product, a status symbol, the Lamborghini of condiments. But the truly amazing part of Garum's story is what happened with the Roman army. The legions of Rome marched on garum. Every soldier was issued a regular ration of it. It was often diluted with water to create a drink called hydrogarum. Yes, fish sauce mixed with water as a beverage. It sounds horrible, but for a Roman soldier marching through Britain or fighting in Germany, this drink was a calorie bomb, a salt source, an electrolyte mix, and a protein supplement, all in one cup. Archaeologists have actually found garum containers at Roman military bases along the Rhine. At Hadrian's Wall in northern Britain, an ancient tablet found at the fort of Vindolanda contains a soldier's supply request that specifically lists 8 sextari of fish sauce. That's about 4 liters, just for one supply order. The Roman army drank fish sauce by the barrel. And here's the truly mind-blowing part. Garum lasted forever. The high salt content and the complete fermentation made it nearly impossible for harmful bacteria to grow. A sealed amphora of garum could survive for years without going bad. This made it perfect for long military campaigns, long sea voyages, and long-distance trade. Roman ships carried garum from Spain to Britain, from Italy to Egypt, from Africa to the Black Sea. Archaeologists have discovered garum amphorae in the Netherlands, in Germany, even at the edges of the known Roman world. One famous discovery at the Kops Plateau in Nijmegen revealed a jar of preserved mackerels imported all the way from Spain. The Romans built a continent-wide fish sauce supply chain that would put modern global trade to shame. The man who became the most famous garum producer in history was a freed slave from Pompeii named Aulus Umbricius Scaurus. He built such a massive garum empire that mosaics advertising his brand were laid into the floor of his luxury home. His house, excavated by archaeologists, is one of the wealthiest in Pompeii. His brand name was so well known that jars stamped with his label have been found across the empire. Scaurus was basically the ancient Roman version of a billionaire condiment mogul, a man who rose from slavery to elite wealth by selling rotting fish liquid. There's even a strange historical accident connected with garum. In 2008, scientists analyzed the contents of garum jars buried at Pompeii during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. They found that the fish used to make that batch were bogues, a species that gathers along the coast only in the summer months, specifically July and August. This single piece of fish sauce evidence helped historians confirm that the famous eruption of Mount Vesuvius likely happened in August of 79 AD, not October, as some Roman writers had recorded. A pot of ancient rotten fish sauce solved a 2,000-year-old historical mystery. But like every great Roman invention, garum eventually faded. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the 5th century, the massive industrial garum factories slowly disappeared. The trade routes collapsed. The recipes were lost in many places. But the basic idea never fully died. Garum's descendants are still alive today. The traditional Italian fish sauce called colatura di alici, still made in the small town of Cettara on the Amalfi coast, is the direct heir of Roman garum. In Nice, France, a similar product called pissalat survives, and across Southeast Asia, fermented fish sauces like Thai nam pla and Vietnamese nuoc mam follow the exact same fermentation logic that Roman workers used in stone vats 2,000 years ago. Modern chefs are now obsessed with garum again. Some of the world's top restaurants, including Noma in Copenhagen, have built entire menus around modern recreations of Roman-style garums. They make versions from beef, chicken, even mushrooms. Food scientists call it a flavor engineering breakthrough. The Romans called it lunch. So, the next time you splash soy sauce on your sushi or sprinkle Worcestershire sauce on your steak, take a moment. You're tasting the great-great-great-great-grandchild of a sauce made from rotting fish guts. a sauce that funded fortunes, a sauce that fueled armies, a sauce that traveled from Spanish factories to the walls of Roman Britain in clay jars marked with brand names. The most powerful empire in human history was, in many ways, held together by a small jar of fermented fish, and almost nobody talks about it anymore. So, tell me below, if you could try one bite of authentic Roman garum made the original way, with mackerel and salt left in the sun for 3 months, would you do it? And if you want to keep exploring the strangest, most forgotten foods of the ancient world, go ahead and subscribe to Alternate Past. There's a lot more weirdness waiting.